So Le'Veon Bell wants to come back. Don't we do this every year? We go for a Bell potential return, an AB potential return. Actually, the AB thing, because of how much AB promotes himself on social media, we talk about that probably at least 2-3 times over the course of 365 days. And then Martavis, we have some type of attachment to that Killer B era and bringing players back, no? And rightfully so. Those were good times. But here we are back on the Le'Veon Bell Steelers reunion cycle. And this time, I actually believe he's serious. Not saying Le'Veon Bell in particular wasn't serious about wanting to come back to the Steelers, or even his emotions about regretting leaving Pittsburgh weren't serious. But, like, I don't know, the way he was talking on Snapchat feels like he's pretty serious about trying to make a comeback to the NFL and wanting to play in Pittsburgh. So let's go over the quotes real quick. Now, the AB return, like, that has never actually been serious, right? Ever since he left in 2018. It was never happening. Ryan Clark, whenever he had Mike Tomlin on his podcast, what was it, last year? He asked Coach T, hey, what do you think about AB coming back? He's like, that ain't happening. And then Martavis, he has not even been able to play in the NFL over the last, 4 or 5 years, was indefinitely suspended. Just recently, that was uplifted, and he got picked up by the Cowboys on their practice squad. But he looked terrible in the XFL. This Le'Veon Bell, out of those 3 situations, out of those 3 Killer B players, the Le'Veon Bell return feels the most legit, as if it could happen. Now, what are the percentages of it actually happening? I'd say still slim, but here's what Bell had to say on his Snapchat story. I believe it was yesterday. It was over the weekend. It was either Saturday or Sunday. I won't start training until Marchish. And I'm going to be honest with myself. I got to go out there and be like, I'm going to put my foot in the ground. Do I feel it? Am I hurting? Can I go out there and really play again? And, bro, I'm telling y'all right now, when I go out there and train in March, and if I hit April and make the decision to come back to play in the NFL again, mark my words down, I will be better than I ever was, ever. And I will only come back for that one team. I don't got to say the team or no team. Y'all know who it is. And that team is the Pittsburgh Steelers, because Le'Veon Bell's on record that if he were to play in the NFL again, he doesn't want to play for any other coach other than Mike Tomlin. So key words coming from these quotes, which make it feel very sincere. This is the best he's ever felt. He also went on to say, it's not in this specific paragraph here, he said he healed his arthritis, that he had arthritis back in his 20s when he was playing in the league, but now he doesn't have arthritis anymore, which is why he's the best he's ever felt. I mean, I have so many mixed emotions and reactions on this. I'm thinking, could he be an upgrade in our running back room over a guy like Godwin Igwebuike for running back 3? Le'Veon Bell at 31. Godwin Igwebuike at, I don't know what he is, mid to late 20s. Probably, I guess, yeah. Would he be better on special teams, though, than Godwin Igwebuike? Because don't forget, Igwebuike had that IQ 1000 play late in the season where he stepped out of bounds and then touched the ball, and we got it at the 40. The basically anti-gunner type of play. That's what we're dealing with Godwin when he's on there as a kick returner. Le'Veon Bell, he never played special teams in his life. Could he do that? We already got Najee Harris. We got Jaylen Warren. But Le'Veon could add some experience to that room. Wouldn't hurt, but also at the same time would bring some unneeded attention if we sign him. Some extra noise. And at this stage of the game, do you want that type of noise associated with your third string running back? No. because this isn't prime Le'Veon Bell we're talking about here. As much as he wants to talk about him being this is the best he's ever felt and everything, like, come on, bro. Like, you're 31 years old. You've been out of the league for a couple seasons. And when you were in the league for your last 2 years, you were bouncing around from like 5 different teams. I don't think, though, on the flip side, I don't think he would make this comeback all about him. I honestly think he would be all about the team. I think he would play his role. This sounds very pure. This sounds very wholesome. Like, he said he would start somewhere. Like, if he could start somewhere, he would go somewhere else. But he knows that this is where he's at. Like, most likely, I'm not going to be getting a starting job anywhere. So if I did come back, there's only one team I would play for. That makes me think, like, yeah, he would fall in line. He would play the role. He would be like that mentor dude. And if push came to shove, Najee got hurt, Jaylen Warren gets hurt, knock on wood, Bell would go in there and play decent, right? I think no matter what, he wouldn't screw us up if he was out there, right? I don't think he would look washed because it is Le'Veon, but I think he's one of those dudes that are built different, like an Adrian Peterson in a way. I don't think Bell's full on Adrian Peterson, but Bell is also not as old as what Adrian Peterson was whenever he was on the late stages of his career either. Ah, man. Again, he was part of that Killer B era. Like, I almost like the reunion aspect of it where he would come back and he could instill some of that Steeler way, potential leadership. But he was also part of that Killer B era where it was dysfunctional and noisy. But between him, Martavis, and AB, he was the chillest, though. His only problems were injuries and staying off the weed, really. And then at the end of it, he had the contract situation, but that was all about business. Didn't like the contract we were offering. That got dragged out. He had to sit out in 2018, a full season, sign with the Jets, and then the rest is history. From a straight entertainment standpoint, I'm intrigued. He does have my interest. I'm not going to lie. You got the redemption story aspect, and then also just trying to see, all right, let's see if you can actually back up your words that you're saying out here on Snapchat. This is the best you've ever felt at age 31. But again, I think this signing would put way too much attention on an individual that really doesn't deserve that type of attention right now. Like, we think George Pickens gets too much attention and there's too much like negativity surrounding him when we're talking about like media and drama and stories and whatnot. But Pickens is out here being a Pro Bowl receiver still. Like, he's put up 1,000 yards in his sophomore year. Le'Veon Bell, 31 years old, coming in as your RB3, being out of the league for a few years. Yeah, probably shouldn't be talked about that much, but we all know it would. It would draw attention away from the team. For how long? I don't know. Maybe it would just be through the offseason. Because Cam Hayward on his podcast was like, yeah, I'd love to have Le'Veon Bell back. So maybe the players wouldn't have a problem with him being in there. And Le'Veon, and all it would take is a press conference, a couple tweets. I mean, he's got Twitter. He can make a video on Twitter or something. Just be like, yo, I'm all about the team. Even if I don't get one snap the whole season, I'm just happy to be here. I'll do my best. Like, all right, if that happens, maybe it wouldn't be that much attention. But then I do wonder if we could just get a better RB3. Like, if we could draft a guy in the 6th round to compete with Godwin, or get an undrafted free agent, but almost like a Jaylen Warren, and they would be better off than having Le'Veon Bell. So I go back and forth from a straight storyline standpoint, from a straight up redemption standpoint. Yeah, I would be for it. But at the same time, just practically, logistically, eh. So let's just say I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent. That's my opinion on it. if it happens, I'll be like, all right, cool. This is great. Break out the Le'Veon Bell jerseys, bring them back. But if it doesn't happen, I'm also good. I don't think it's the end of the world. Steeler fan 532. He says a tryout and he fails. Yeah, why not a tryout? We don't gotta. I guess you would sign him to a 1-year deal or some type of reserve contract, right? I don't know how that would work with his veteran status, and he's been in the league for a minute, but we could sign him to something really cheap, some vet minimum contract, and if it doesn't work out, we just cut him, right? But at the same time, is that the attention that we need for this offseason? Not really. And again, could a 6th-round running back, if we drafted it in the 5th round, or we pick up a dude, undrafted free agent, because we know the running back position. We know how it works, right? Jaylen Warren is a stud. We got him 2 years ago, undrafted. Isaiah Pacheco, he's in the Super Bowl this week, 7th-round pick. Probably the best running back Mahomes and the Chiefs have had during the Mahomes era. Dameon Pierce, Texans, 4th-rounder, although I don't think he had as good of a season this year as his rookie year. But speaking of the Texans, Aaron Foster. Remember, he was a 4 or 5-time Pro Bowl running back, one of the top 4 or 5 guys in the league during his time. Undrafted out of Tennessee. Or was he a 7th-round pick? I can't remember completely. But you guys get it. You guys know the running back position and the running back market. Like, it's cool. Le'Veon Bell's a name. The storylines are there. It would be exciting, but at the same time, is he better than an undrafted rookie or a guy that we could, pick up late in the draft this year? It's a serious question. So is all the potential attention worth it? You get what I mean? It's especially if we can't decide, or there is like a legitimate conversation to be had that unnamed dude that wouldn't be causing storylines or potential just unneeded attention. If one of those guys could be better than Le'Veon Bell, like, is it worth it? I don't know.